Hi, I'm Keith F. Sheldon, son of Swift, here with Genealogical Pursuits for the 21st of January 2025. Now, once again, it's just after midnight here on the East Coast, so it's actually January 22nd. Started getting set up before midnight, but oh well. So this week we're going to talk about the key thing I found this week was a mistake that I actually did in my early genealogical research that I'm now going to have to spend a lot of time reversing, hopefully getting it back to the level that I once had it. But first, let's start off with a couple announcements. The first big thing is we are now on Blue Sky. I now have a sonoswift.bluesky.social where I'll be sharing all the social links on genealogy. So that would be episodes of the podcast here. It'll be blog posts. It'll be questions about genealogy, as well as finding things from other genealogical feeds on Blue Sky. I considered doing one on Threads or Mastodon or some others, but I think Blue Sky is the right mix for us now. So check it out on Blue Sky. As always, you can always reach out to me on email, shovlin@gmail.com. And then, of course, our original home on the web, Tumblr, sonofswift.tumblr.com. Now, before we get into this week's story, we're going to go ahead and do the surname check. So this is the weekly emails I get on to the two regular surnames that I do research on. So now, so we'll go ahead to that. So here we have Google alert for Angevine. That would be my ex-wife's name. I had it here a second ago. Now I can't find it. Oh, there we go. All right. Ocala man arrested for sexually battering a young girl producing child porn. I don't really want. Brandon Angevine, 31 years old. Oh man, that's top 3 there. That's upsetting. Seen obituary for Faith Quran, including obituaries for Earl Oakley Angevine. Oh, and she's Faith Angevine Quran. I see. All right, we have Lincoln Parish Journal. Cedar Creek Girls won the North DeSoto powerlifting meet Saturday. I believe we've seen that before. Substack, meet Molly Angevine, writing candidate. This in the house. So this is November 3rd, 2024. So she was running probably in the most recent U.S. congressional election. Let's see, high school basketball. Tells what is. Obituary for Samuel Willett. The Angevine Learning Center in Brookshire, Texas. Obituary for Dale Angevine. Caves d'Angevine Anjou Blanc in winery in Canada, white wine in Canada. Angevine Road in Warren, Connecticut. Theodore Angevine on Facebook. Angevine Warden Road again. Avro Angevine's art lecture series. Du jour Angevine. Radio Campus Angers. On SoundCloud. Sheila Angevine on Facebook. 873 Angevine in Littleburg, Georgia. Angevine on YouTube. The Corniche Angevine 2025 in Alvets and Angers. And this is really thrilling stuff, isn't it? From Angevine on YouTube, and then King Angevine on Instagram. All right. So now to the Shovlins. Holy crap, for once, Andrew Shovlin of Mercedes is not the top thing. David Shovlin returns to boost the Letterkenny Rovers ahead of FIA Junior Cup clash. So that's rugby, it looks like. Let's see. Wilkes-Barre Citizens Voice. Dallas Boys remain perfect. Shovlin finished with 10. All right. Nadia Partners launches Beacon AI Centers. Joseph Shovlin is both Dromore and Beacon CEOs. So it's data center dynamics. Global tech outage leads to pit wall chaos for Mercedes. There's your Andrew Shovlin. Let's see, Mania Cup runner David Shovlin, rugby again. John Shovlin, career stats in MLB, playing for the St. Louis Browns. Okay. The Writer's Life, a conversation on literary biography with Frank Shovlin. He's written a lot of books on literary theory. Obituary for Hugh Shovlin in San Antonio, Texas. My cousin Chris on X. Congratulations for 22 class of the Whippeal 7 Hall of Fame, and thanks for inviting me to introduce you at the History Center in Pittsburgh today. See, obituary for Joseph E. Shovlin from 2021. Photos from Alyssa Shovlin on Instagram. Speeding and Safety on Porterstown Road involving Clear Shovlin. Conceptual artist Jamie Shovlin on Shutterstock. Michelle Shovlin and Family House Fire Fund on GoFundMe. Around 8:30 a.m. on October 19, 2020, explosion caused Michelle's house to catch fire. Gonna go ahead and look at that closer. Of course, there's the regular form. Let's see, do we have... Trying to find more of the story, and it's not... There we go. Michelle Shovlin Family House Fire Fund. Being organized by Janelle Cohn on behalf of Kenzie Sharpless. $29,000 raised for a $10,000 goal. That's fantastic to see. Now, this, of course, was 4 years ago. She was okay, but was taken to UPMC for burns. So this was Pittsburgh area. So this would have been a cousin, most likely, well, possibly connected with the Shovlin Academy of Dance. Family lost everything that was in the house. Housing for donations to support the family. And people that gave 4 years ago. I'm hoping that they're doing better now. I'm wondering why is this popping up in the email feed for something that happened 4 years ago. Oh well. Well, I wish them luck and hope things are getting better. All right, back to the list. Let's see. Wayne Shovlin, Collective Soul. Alice Shovlin on TikTok. Hugh Shovlin on Twitter. Leslie Shovlin on YouTube. Anna Shovlin on Threads. Okay. And finally, Andrew Shovlin from Mercedes once again. Like I said, thrilling stuff, of course. All right, real quick before we get into the thing, once again, talk about our sponsors. We are brought to you by Sticker Mule. Sign up for Sticker Mule today and get your artwork printed on things. You get corporate items made with your company logo, things for promotions, stickers, obviously, as well as keychains, boxes, stuff like that. This week, the special is $29 for 50 custom 3-inch by 3-inch magnets. That's regularly $89, but you get it for free shipping. You get 50 of them. You have the next 3 days to take advantage of this limited time offer. So check out stickermule.com. Click on the link in the description below. Use our link and you get $10 towards your first order. As always, you can check out our store as well at TeePublic. And then, of course, we thank StreamYard for hosting us once again. So going back to... So this was the most recent post I put up on the Son of Swift blog. I actually had a few posts this week and talking about things. But so first up, the main purpose is the price is wrong. So when I first started doing family history research, and I'm going to zoom in here on, so this is my great grandfather, Robert Van Dusen Roach, great great grandfather, and his wife Mary Margaret Price. And I was able to track her down, and I found that her parents' names were Noah and Mary. So okay, so Noah and Mary, Mary Margaret Price. So I knew that they would lived in Wheeling, and that later she moved to Columbiana County, which is north of Wheeling. So I found a Noah and Mary Price with a daughter Mary in Montgomery County, Ohio. Like, well, it's Ohio, it's close enough. I was working at the National Archives going through census data at the time, so it wasn't like I was comparing it. Now, as you can see, I found quite a bit from there because I found Noah, his wife Mary Polly Brock, the Brocks from there, the Millers, the Prices going way back, the Orabahs, and all of this. And then when I went to the family history, the family reunion this summer, that really started my current boundary genealogy research, I had this chart printed up of the Roach clan with the Prices right here: Mary Margaret Price, Noah, Samuel Price, the Brocks. This whole half is from Mary Margaret Price, of this wonderful chart here that I had printed up for our family reunion. So every once in a while, like after I found the Find a Grave glitch, I've been going back and rechecking Find a Grave entries. And so I happened upon this Find a Grave for Mary's father, Noah. That's the information I had. Born in Virginia, Montgomery County, Ohio. Looks right, right? Born in 1820, died in 1902. Family member, Mary Polly Brock Price. Doesn't list any children. Yep. List children, doesn't list Mary, but that works out. There we go. So then I was looking at Mary's, and I ended up finding so I found the photograph for my great great grandmother, Mary Margaret Mamie Price Roach. Have her born here, 1871, Wheeling, Ohio County, West Virginia, and died in 1904. My burial details are unknown. And here it lists her parents, Noah Price and Mary Jane Sprouse. Well, that's different. And I would clicked on Noah Price, and it's a completely different Noah Price. Born in West Virginia, died in West Virginia, 1830 versus 1820, 1906 death versus 1902. And then I looked down at the bottom here. It says age about 74 years. Now I had found him with his father Samuel from looking at the Noah, and here it says his father is John. Like, okay, well, it could be just some incorrect information. Then you go to the pictures, and you have the death records, and you have here the certificate of death. And here it says Noah Price, died November 3rd, 1906. Stogie maker, okay, Wheeling. Name, husband, wife, Mary Price. Father's name, John Price. So there we have once again, John Price. So I started comparing it, went back to what I could find. And okay, this looked like this was probably the thing is there are obviously two different Noah Prices born around the same time. But this one looked closer to West Virginia. So now going back to Mary's Price age, I had originally found her in the 1880 census. So then I decided to recheck the 1880 census, her having been born in 1871 in Wheeling. And of course it shows her in Montgomery County, Ohio. Now this is what I did this time, which I should have done the first time, but didn't think of it. Where is Montgomery County, Ohio? It's Dayton. Dayton is in Montgomery County, Ohio. So on the western side of the state. It would make no sense for the whole family to move over from Wheeling to Montgomery and then come back. So it made very clear that I had the wrong Noah and Mary Price. So then I continued searching, and now I found a new 1880 census record. And it had the prices that I'm looking for. Noah Price, Mary, and of course, daughter Mary, 8 years old. And here they are in Wheeling, West Virginia. So now that meant this tree that I had put all this effort into, all of this is now wrong. So I went, okay, what do I know is still true? Well, I know Noah Price and Mary. And now I know because of that find a grave that Mary's maiden name is Sprouse. And of course, I know Noah's father is now John. So I look at Mary Sprouse and died of pneumonia, mother of 12 children, nothing about parents. Okay, well, at least it's a start. And I know, so I now know Mary and I know John Price. Where do we go from there? Well, doing some research, I started to then clean up the tree. I realized I made this mistake. I put the blog post up and I started to clean up the tree. And so all of a sudden, what was this nice full tree you saw a second ago is now much, much less. I was able to find John's wife, Mary Eichner. You see there's a hint that her father's name is Johann Eichner and his mother, Margareta Gerhardt, which we'll do more looking into. Seeing if the hint. Nope. Oh, there is a Mary Eichner record hint that now popped up. And it's the free 1880 census. Yep, born in Germany. That matches what I've got. Okay. All right, so this has been a glitch on Ancestry since I started working on this, where the whole family started disappearing. So I know now that the Brocks are gone, that meant deleting out that meant, clearing out this whole section. So that's basically that, all this gone. And we know Father John, obviously the Orbaz, which I had going back 7 generations, also all gone. So I was able to clear all those out pretty quickly. Then I'm thinking, Price is a common enough name, but what if there's still a family connection? So I changed this to John, but I didn't mess with any of the other Prices until I had a chance to do a bit more research. So going back to the tree, all right, you see, I was able to find his father, his parents, George Price and Rachel Shields Bender, and then George Price's parents, John Michael Price and Anna Margareta Killian. And I'm like, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar. Going back to the chart, I find that, okay, so it's now George Price instead of David. So George, instead of Elizabeth, you have someone else. So the Prillamans are all gone here. So this is gone. But John Michael Price, Margareta Killian, the same great grandparents to Noah. So I had accidentally put Mary Margaret Price as the daughter of Ron, Noah, and Mary, but the same Price family, just different. So this is father, grandfather, great, same great grandparents. Same great grandparent to the Noah born in 1830 as the same great grandparents as the Noah born in 1820. So it is the same family. So all this back here is still good. It's just all of this is now crap. And that's how it goes sometimes. So I have a lot more research to do. Obviously, I had a nice full tree, and now that full tree, that this wonderful full tree that I had for a good long while, that I did a lot of extra research this summer. In fact, I had just found, see here, Maria Margareta Stolp in the middle there. I just found her parents, Johann William Stolp and Katrina Stahl, right before I made this realization that it was the wrong Noah and Mary. So I had just finally filled in the great great grandparents and have had them solid, and only to have that. So yeah, you see here, I had William Stolp and Elizabeth. Now I had those, and I had that going through. So I had this whole perfect half circle, but now it's all gone. You have to be willing to accept when you have incorrect information. You have to be willing to accept that you make mistakes. And you have to own up to it. I'm now, I've got a lot of research to do if I want to get anywhere close to what I had on was the Prillamans and the Orbaughs and the Brocks and the Millers and the Muellers and from there the Schmidten. There were several Millers there. In fact, there was Matthias and David. Their children got married, so that was like two brothers, David and Matthias. Their children got married. Yeah, and then we had Funkhauser, Brock, Brack, Stolp, Muckley, Orbaugh became Overbeck, Helms. All these surnames that are no longer part of my family tree. And they never were in the first place, but it was because I had the wrong census data. So that's obviously this chart is a huge difference. On my own chart, it's a much smaller section of the pie, but it's still a big deal. And if we have another family reunion, I'm going to have to, say my mea culpas, explain this mistake. But hopefully, I will have more research then. I started trying to look up. Last night, I was looking up Noah Price, and that's how I was able to make the connection here. Tomorrow, I'm going to do more work on Mary Eichner and Mary Jade Sprouse and Rachel Shields Bender, so I can just start to fill this in a bit more. There's a cousin, Robert V. Baker, who has his tree on Ancestry that suggests Sprouse is actually the improper spelling. It's actually Sprouse. We'll see from there. I'll have to look into this a bit more. I don't want to go off of just other family trees. I want to go off of actual records found. So that's the research yet to come. In another bit of interesting research this past week, I did find one other interesting thing. Now, remember a few weeks back, I noticed I said that I had incorrect information on Elizabeth J. Thompson. I had the wrong parents. And so I thought her parents were John C. Thompson and Mary Ward. But now I know it's John H. Thompson and Francis V. Blair. Now, in my research on trying to track down a little bit more on that, I've talked many times of how sad it is for genealogists that we have lost the 1890 census. It was lost in a fire in the Commerce Department building. There are a couple states that had copies of the census data that they've tried to rebuild part of the database, but most of it is gone. Now, here's something that isn't gone: the 1890 veteran schedule of the U.S. federal census. So I got a ping on John H. Thompson. He's the one I was still trying to consider whether or not he's whether in the 1860 census he's listed as a mulatto living with the Swearingens, whether or not that meant that he had been in a uh, possible slave in southwestern Pennsylvania. Obviously, they would not have reported him as a slave on the census because that would have been illegal in Pennsylvania at the time. But what I did find was on the 1896 veteran schedule, it shows him enlisting in the 168th Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry, assigned to Company E in October of 1862, and the entire unit was mustered out of service July 24th, 1863. Now you're probably wondering, did they serve at Gettysburg and that's why they were mustered out? No, they were a Western Pennsylvania unit, and they tried to get to Gettysburg, but they ended up being mustered out, being assigned other duties, and then afterwards, for some reason or another, they were mustered out of service. But on the same schedule as him is an Andrew Swearingen, who was one of the kids in the family that he worked for. So there is still a connection there. That's something still for me to research. But there is hope for some things in the 1890 census. And I have them clear. New Geneva and Fayette County in 1890. It's incredible to think that something of the 1890 census still does exist and still is searchable. So that's going to be it for us tonight. Once again, I'm trying to keep these under half an hour. If you would like more information, feel free to reach out. Remember to check out our merch store, tpublic.com/stores/Swift. If you want to set up your own store, use our link below, t.pub//as21. You follow me on Tumblr, sonofswift.tumblr.com. Email me, shovlin@gmail.com. And then, of course, now find us on Blue Sky, sonofswift.blueskysocial.social. Until next week, good luck to you. And hopefully, I don't lose any more family members between now and next week. Good luck.